Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
Chinese businessman stabbed by alleged shoplifter in Hanover. A Chinese businessman is currently receiving treatment in hospital after being stabbed during a shoplifting attempt in the town of Lucy, Hanover, Monday morning. The man, identified as Li Chin, who operates the Cherry Supermarket, the largest supermarket in the town, is reportedly not in serious condition. The incident has been confirmed by head of the Hanover Police Division, Superintendent Sharon Beeport. Reports are that the man was caught shoplifting and was confronted by the supermarket security. The business operator reportedly intervened and was stabbed by the accused. During the incident, the accused received bruises. Both the operator and the accused were taken to the Noel Holmes Hospital for treatment. More remains found at demolition site in St. Thomas. More skeletal remains have been discovered at the demolition site in Mornby, St. Thomas. The discovery was made by crew members employed to the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation, which is leading the demolition exercise. The activity, which was halted yesterday for the initial discovery of bones and at least 3 skulls in a section of the building, resumed their work. However, the construction of another room on the building, workmen reportedly came upon another box of remains. The police have been notified of the additional find. Reports are that the remains were discovered sometime after 9 o'clock Sunday morning during the demolition exercise, which is a part of the drive by the municipal corporation to knock down old buildings. According to police reports, one set of remains was found in a coffin inside the building and 2 other skulls were found elsewhere in the dilapidated structure, which is located across the Mornby police station. The structure is said to have once served as a lodge building. Ex-Haitian Senator extradited to U.S. over president's killing. A former Haitian senator appeared before a judge in Miami Monday after being extradited from Jamaica for his alleged role in the July killing of Haitian President Jovenel Moise. Joseph Joel John, 51, is accused of conspiring to commit a murder or kidnapping outside the United States and providing material support to a commando operation against the Haitian president, the U.S. Attorney's Office said. John will be the 3rd person tried in Miami in the case of Moise, who was assassinated on July 7. The U.S. justice system says it has jurisdiction in this case, arguing that part of the plan to kill the president was allegedly hatched in Florida. If the 3 arrested suspects are found guilty, they face a maximum sentence of life imprisonment. Labor Ministry not associated with LAD services. The Ministry of Local and Social Security has disassociated itself from an advertisement placed by LAD Services of Grand Cayman seeking to recruit individuals for overseas employment. Noting that the entity is not licensed under the ministry, it reminded members of the public to exercise extreme caution in avoiding job scams and to check the backgrounds of recruiters before paying over funds or providing personal information. A list of licensed employment agencies can be accessed via the ministry's website at www.mlss.gov.jm. The public is also being encouraged to contact the ministry's Employment Agencies Unit at 876-922-9500 to report suspicious advertisements. Businessman challenging seizure of firearm license. Businessman Dwayne Reed, whose firearm was seized by the Firearm Licensing Authority (FLA) based on a complaint made by his former girlfriend, has been granted leave to appeal against a Supreme Court ruling. Reed had applied for leave to go to the Judicial Review Court, but a Supreme Court judge refused the application. He applied for leave from the Court of Appeal last week, and the application was granted. He is seeking a declaration that the Firearms Act does not permit the FLA to seize his firearm pending the determination of an investigation. He is seeking a declaration that the seizure of the firearm is illegal. He is asking the court to grant an order squashing the decision to seize the firearm. The businessman said in an affidavit that the firearm was seized in December 2020 when he went to renew his license. He said he was told that a complaint was made by a woman from New York alleging that he was a gunman who impersonates the police and that he has also been a scammer. He related that he met the woman in New York in 2019 and within 2 months she was insisting that they should get married. According to Reed, he subsequently discovered that she had a drug and alcoholic problem and ended the relationship. Reed said he told the FLA investigator that the woman was upset with him because he rejected the marriage offer and she was harassing him ever since. He said he also gave a statement to the FLA. He stated in his affidavit that the woman had even sent persons to threaten his life. I believe my life is in great danger and I have told the respondent this, he said in the court documents. Reed said when he went to the FLA, he was informed about the complaint and that he had denied the allegations. Attorney at law Hugh Wildman, who is representing Reed, said documents are now being prepared for filing so he can get an early date for the appellate court to hear the matter. The FLA is the respondent in the matter. School grooming prescription. As issue of dress and grooming continue to resurface in the public education system, two secondary school student leaders say legislation is perhaps the way to go, ensure that institutions abide by the Education Ministry's policy guidelines. However, they believe laying down the policy in law instead of leaving it up to the schools to narrow down the rules may not go down well, given the history of how schools were formed in Jamaica and principles grounded in tradition. National Secondary Schools Council Region, one Assistant Vice President, Daniel Jordan Bailey, says a regulatory framework for hairstyle for students would lead to equity in terms of how students are permitted to wear their hair. In an ideal situation, the legislation would be the best way to go about implementing the policy. I can understand the whole church versus state, but yes, put it into law. We don't want some schools to be creative freedom, while other schools are left on the back burner, Bailey stated last week during Jamaica's Monday Exchange, where she and other students voiced their concerns and hopes for the education system and the society as a whole. Bailey noted the island's high number of students run by churches, which have their own set of rules. So, while it is something that the students would advocate, we have a very hard time saying this is the law and this is the church, she argued. Kingston College head boy Malachi Alwood said he too would want to see grooming legislated, although it would be a drastic step and a difficult one based on historical background of schools in Jamaica. And do we really want the government to have total say? It's a conversation that should be had, he reasoned. The question of legislating dress and grooming policy for a public school was raised by Government Senator Natalie Campbell Rodriguez during a recent discussion between the leadership of the island's church-run schools and the Parliamentary Joint Selected Committee reviewing the Jamaica Teaching Council bill. Archibald of Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, Reverend Howard Gregory, said he did not believe all school rules must be framed in law, given the shifting nature over the decades of which is acceptable for the classroom. Today it's here, tomorrow it's probably going to be whether you can wear slippers or shoes. So there has to be some kind of discretionary thing and a kind of relationship between the ministry and the principal and teaching staff to work through certain issues as they arise. I don't think we should legislate, given the way in which our society is structured, he told the meeting. At last week's Monday Exchange, Bailey pointed to the issues which arise from schools narrowing the guidelines set by the Education Ministry. The problem is, although the policy is set, schools are biased. Some are either run by churches or have their preferences as to how they want the students to look. So, while the policy is set, when schools take that policy, they further narrow it down. For example, you have this whole situation in Jamaica of whether or not students should be able to wear braids. The policy says it's fine, but perhaps you don't want it to be colored, you don't want it to be extravagant, and that's fine. But then you take it to the board level, and the school says absolutely not, we don't want braids at all, she explained. She said another example is afros. Natural afro texture hair, worn loose, which the policy also allows, but you wear your afro to school, and the school says don't come in. The Ministry of Education's Dress and Grooming Policy Guideline says schools' dress and grooming code must be consistent with the right of freedom from discrimination on the grounds of gender, race, place of origin, social class, color, religion, or political opinion. Its guideline on here states that subject to exemption or modification for religious reasons, health or other permitted grounds, hair must be clean and neatly maintained. Furthermore, according to the alternative rule set out in the 2018 policy, students should wear their hair away from their face with eyes and ears clearly visible, and hair that is long enough should be neatly secured in a conservative style. It also bars fashion trend hairstyles including chemical processed or dyed hair. In the policy document, Ministry noted that students had asked that rules be fair and not arbitrary and dependent on the inclination of principals, nor should they be discriminatory based on ethnic origin. It said students had further asked for neatly groomed to be clearly defined to prevent schools from shifting the line in the sand at their own discrimination. The ministry said these concerns demonstrated that schools must be mindful of both the content of rules and how they are enforced. 116 new COVID cases in Jamaica, 3 deaths reported. The Ministry of Health and Wellness reported 166 new COVID-19 cases and 3 deaths on Sunday, May 8, bringing the infection total to 131,327 and total deaths to 2,980. The new cases comprised 108 females and 58 males, with ages ranging from 20 days to 90 years. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew 37, St. James 36, St. Anne 28, St. Catherine 21, Westmoreland 10, Manchester 8, St. Elizabeth 8, Trelawney 5, Clarendon 5, Hanover 3, St. Mary 2, St. Thomas 2, and Portland 1. The deceased are a 94-year-old male and a 74-year-old female from St. Catherine who died in March and October 2021, and a 9-year-old female from St. Elizabeth who died in April 2022. There were 117 recoveries in the last 24 hours, bringing the total to 84,518. Currently, 65 people are hospitalized, 9 of whom are moderately ill and 2 critically ill. Jamaica's positivity rate for the latest round of testing was 18.5%.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.